Tell me about everything you've ever done, Dad. The whole story. Every drug deal, every robbery, every murder. Start with Breeze.
Around the way on the block, call me Breeze.
Come on, we gotta move this way. Kanan's gonna be looking for us. So he's gonna introduce us to Breeze tonight.
Hi.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. It's been a minute. A lot of y'all still going crazy over that the Shy video, and don't worry, I'm gonna make a follow-up because I see y'all in the comments talking about, oh, what now, speak about what's going on. I'm gonna make a follow-up to the Shy video, but in this one we're not talking about that. We're talking about the new revealed information on Power Book Origins that we received, talking about the first season, how it's gonna be 18 episodes, and confirming Mekai Curtis, the current actor for Kanan and Raising Kanan, is gonna be a part of this series. And I told you guys that years ago when I made a video about why Kanan killed Jukebox and their entire backstory. I talked about both of them going on to Origins, those two actors, and being a part of Ghost and Tommy's story, which makes the most sense because we know Ghost and Tommy came up under Kanan. Now, with a lot of this information, what I'm going to do is talk about other possible confirmed characters now that we know people are going to come over from Raising Kanan. Talk about the possibility of seeing a young Ghost and Tommy in the last season of Raising Kanan, like a backdoor pilot to set up Book Origins, give us another sneak peek, teaser, hint, everything like that. And also all the possibilities of everything that's gonna take place within the first season of Book Origins, with everything we've heard about a Breeze, a Kanan, a Ghost, Tommy, Jukebox, everything we heard about them from when they were younger in the OG Power. So without further ado, leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this information down below. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, obviously, the first two things being confirmed is Mekai Curtis, Kanan coming back, playing his original self, and that the first season is going to be 18 episodes, which is crazy, the most that any Power show has ever done. I think they originally started with like 8 and worked up to 10, but 18 is crazy. And once again, I think this is because they have a lot they have to do to establish Ghost and Tommy even before they dive into the game, with Ghost's dad, Tommy fighting and Ghost protecting him, everything like that, him being the only white kid. I think they want to establish them even younger than them entering high school in the game with Kanan and Breeze, but we'll get to that in a second. With Mekai Curtis being confirmed to be another lead role in Origins, I think it's safe to say, obviously, we know another two confirmed characters coming over are Breeze and Jukebox, just from the many times we heard about their involvement in Ghost and Tommy's life. I mean, Ghost and Tommy called Jukebox that crazy bitch.
And remember Jukebox?
Yeah, that fucking crazy bitch.
That one.
We also know that when Kanan and Jukebox took Tariq and Ghost asked him who has his son, he says the realest motherfucker we both know, and Ghost knew her name immediately.
You got my boy, Kay. One of the baddest motherfuckers we both know. She run these streets harder than some of these men, but ain't got no heart.
Jukebox even referenced Ghost when Kanan got beat up by Ghost, set on fire, and went to live with her. He accidentally revealed to Jukebox's girlfriend that Ghost is the one who did it to him, and they had a whole conversation about that. She talked about younger Ghost being smart, vicious with a piece though, and how close him and Kanan were.
Not Ghost. Ghost. Man, Ghost, he was your boy, that kid. Always with his head in the motherfucking book. Vicious with a piece though.
So I expect Jukebox to have major involvement in her actor character to get announced as well, especially with what we've been seeing of Jukebox recently in season 4, this downward spiral deeper into the game, and it's only gonna continue into season 5 as they still really don't know who killed Famous, and that's her main goal and mission, to find out who did that, and we know she's not gonna stop there. And also, once again, Breeze, we just got his introduction at the end of season 4. We only got one scene of him so far. It was everybody was a bit on the fence about it. I think we need to see more. Some people don't know if Shameik Moore fits that role, but it was one scene. We'll have to wait and see. More conversations him and Kanan have, the better. And also, once again, he has a major involvement in Ghost and Tommy's story.
The hustling, all the work, from working the corner for Breeze and Kanan
And from that point forward, the myth, the legend of Breeze has existed ever since. He became the biggest question mark in Power history, and now we're finally here. But along the way in original Power, they started spilling more information, more details, and we come to learn that Breeze is the one who gave Ghost his nickname.
We knew this guy Breeze when we were kids. He came up with Ghost. Said the kid had the ability to disappear.
Which is interesting because we know Kanan kind of told Tariq that's how Ghost ended up taking him out. He appeared and took Breeze out before Breeze could ever even be scared of someone being there.
A friend of mine, Breeze, used to live here. Pop and I used to work for Breeze. He got shot in this room. Your pops knew the Breeze would be here at 7 o'clock. I came up after school, we broke in. We waited for him to come home and watch TV. Breeze didn't have time to get scared.
So these are big details we learned about Ghost getting his nickname, about Tommy and Ghost taking Breeze out, which a lot of people don't like to point out. They point out that being one of Ghost's biggest kills or first impactful kills. We don't necessarily know if it was his first, but one of his closest kills to him. But Tommy was also a part of it. We hear that in multiple scenes as well.
Why would Roller do it?
Same reason 2 former corner boys looked Breeze in the face and shot him in the fucking head. When you want that top spot, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it.
You raised Roller. You wrote the blueprint for his moves, man. Why wouldn't you want to take out the boss? It's the same shit you did to Breeze.
All that is very relevant piece of information to basically establish that these 3 characters for certain gonna be involved in Origins for multiple seasons at the very least, because even into the original Power, Jukebox is out the picture. She moved to DC, which funny enough is where she was stationed in the military, I believe, in season 4. We also know that Ghost and them are gonna take out Breeze, and we know Kanan is gonna end up going to jail set up by Ghost. So that's where he was at the beginning of the original Power. So we know they are for the most part gonna be there the entirety of Origins until Ghost sets up Kanan. There's gonna be a lot of questions surrounding Rock, Marvin, and Lou. I think Kanan said in a scene before that they came up selling under his uncles or selling to his uncles or something, some wording of the sort. I'll put the clip in here.
I started out hustling the streets after school when I was 11. Started out selling Fat Alberts to my uncles.
How'd you meet my dad?
He was in the gang with me, kid. He a D-boy from way back.
So a lot of people suspect that they're gonna be around. Rock, with the way things are panning out, this being the last season of Raising Kanan, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did take her out. The only reason I didn't believe that he did initially was for the simple fact that they keep reusing this storyline of the kid killing their parent and everything like that, and I didn't think they'll be cliche and use it again. But it's very likely that he actually did end up taking out Rock, which would be crazy. So maybe she is out the picture. People debate that based off clips from the original Power. First off, we know the clip that everyone talks about and be seeing is the one of Kanan when he gets out of jail. He goes and visits Ghost and he tells him, this is basically the second place I came to. Only thing I went to do before this is go see my mom.
But listen, I gotta get going. Make a few stops and shit. I just went to go see my mom, came straight here.
All right, man.
So a lot of people is taking this as hints that Rock is still alive, but there are people saying that if she is alive, this could mean she's in jail, or there's people saying that if she's dead, this could mean her grave as well. Now there's 2 other major clues within OG Power that kind of supports the theory that she's more than likely dead and he could have meant a grave. We've seen characters visit graves all the time, and those 2 major clues happen at the same time when one, Tariq, Tasha, and Angela are planning to frame Kanan for the murder of Ray Ray to get Tariq in the clear, and they put the gun in his car and everything like that. Tasha goes to Ghost and tells him basically they need to pin it on someone who has no friends, no families, no ties, no job, no connection, any of that.
It'd be better to maybe frame somebody with a lower profile. I mean somebody who's completely off the radar. No family, no friends, no job. Somebody nobody would miss. What about Kanan?
And obviously when she said that, Kanan is the name that came to mind. That's who she wanted dependent on. So she was basically saying that he has no one to fall back on. And obviously we know within the show he killed the Jukebox and a Sean. That was his 2 closest family members, but now she's saying he basically has no one else. This kind of gets reiterated when Kanan actually does die. He gets into a shootout with the cops, ends up trying to drive away, passing out, and later when they show on the news, they say he has no known surviving next of kin.
Is Kanan Stark. He has no known surviving next of kin. His son Sean was murdered.
Now listen, people are trying to say that next of kin only mean children. No, it means next closest living family member. Anybody to your family that is alive. Aunt, uncle, cousin, nephew, whatever. So that's major clues that kind of contradict what they said about him earlier in the season. Now I'll even be fair, Kanan's last name is Stark. It isn't Thomas like a Jukebox, a Lou, a Rock, or a Marvin. And even Jukebox in the original Power goes on to change her last name. It's very well that because his last name is different, they didn't find a connection with him and everyone else, but that just doesn't make sense or seem likely either. So this kind of can contradict the statement earlier about him going to see his mom, and it also could reiterate the point that Tasha was making, that he doesn't have any friends or family. Now, to quickly get into some storylines we're probably guaranteed to see within season 1, I think the biggest and most obvious is Ghost and the death of his dad. Now, I made a whole entire video on this if you guys want to check it out, but basically theory was that Breeze and Kanan possibly had a hand in the death of Ghost's dad based off the clues we've heard from OG Power. Now, we've always wanted this backstory and storyline, and I think if they're gonna establish Ghost and Tommy even younger than immediately working with Breeze and Kanan, this is possibly a storyline that they want to work out in the earlier seasons. And we already got a bunch of clues, details, and hints of Ghost saying that Kanan was there for him when his dad died.
My dad told me that you sent him to jail.
Back then I had big plans. Big plans that Kanan couldn't see. It was either set him up for him to go away, or it was me killing him. I wasn't gonna kill him. When my pops died, your dad was there for me, man.
How Angela left him when his dad died.
You finally got your nightclub. Your dad would have been proud.
I told you about my father's nightclub.
Show was the opportunity of a lifetime.
And when my pops died, I thought then at least you would reach out.
And then we got more details surrounding the death of his dad and what exactly went on.
Where you been? I haven't seen you since the night he died.
Tried to tell your father we needed to pay those drug deals to leave us alone. Tried to tell him not to talk to the police. That those kids were bad news.
So I think it might come true that Kanan or Breeze possibly had some type of role in his dad's death, and maybe he just never even found out. But
when I was your age, I thought it was the right thing to do. My father tried to get me to turn my back on the streets. I didn't listen. I'm trying to protect you from a life of misery, son.
I think his dad's death and him owning a nightclub in the past is going to be something that takes place within season 1. Overall, that's it for this video. You guys can let me know your thoughts and opinions on Power Book Origins. What are you most excited to see in this series? 18 episodes once again is crazy. I do think they have a lot they want to get through and establish. If every season is going to be 18 episodes though, that is wild, especially because with Power, this being the main show I talk about on my channel, 18 episodes spans it over 4.5 months instead of the normal like 2.5. So that's just, oh, that's more content for y'all, more videos for me, more money in my pocket. So I can't wait for this, especially because we've been waiting for so many years. Power Book Force actually is what's up next this fall. Then we get Raising Kanan at the beginning of next year, and then we get Origins and the new Tariq and Tommy spinoff as well. So Power truly never ends. As usual though, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe. The Shy video part 2 on the way, but I'm out.